I'm going to start by, I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. So here is my YouTube library, and anybody that has a Gmail account can go on here and create their own channel. And this is my channel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a video that I just completed, a 1.5-minute video on my latest granddaughter's first birthday. And I'm going to click here on create, and I'm going to click on upload video. Then I'm going to drag the video from my desktop on here and just drop it in there. Now it's going to cook for a while, but we're going to leave that and just let that cook, or let that upload, and that'll take a few minutes, and we'll come back to that. So now I'm going to go back over here to my website, and my website's called Gathering Gardeners. It's a .com, and on my website this is the main page, and I'm going to click on here. It's called click here for additional pages of interest. And then I'm going to click down here, and all of the classes that I teach are all on this page. So if you want to come to this page or go to this page, you can see the lesson. So if you want some information, you can go back to it. So the first question is, why make a family history YouTube video library? And I've heard lots of different reasons for people wanting their own library. Most people want to share something with their family, and they want to make it easy. I found that if you ask people if you send them a large book or a CD or a DVD or something like that, most people don't watch it, but they will click on YouTube because it's so simple to do and so easy to get going and to access. And so most people, including myself, spend a lot of time on YouTube. This is my YouTube library, or at least sort of part of it. So the first question I have is, how hard is it to make a video library? And it's not really that hard. As I understand it, 300 hours of new video are added to YouTube library every minute of every day, which is quite a bit of video going on. And so it's not really hard, just drag and drop, which is what we just did a minute ago. Now we're going to scroll down here to this question. Can you keep your YouTube library private? So you can have it public, private, or unlisted. Private is where you invite users and you give them a tag in order to open up, or they won't be able to see it. And unlisted means it's not listed in regular YouTube searches, but anyone with a link will be able to view it. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. How much space does YouTube library? Now, I think they changed this because recently I uploaded 10 in a day and then they stopped me. So I think you can upload 10 videos in a day, and you may need permission to do more. The YouTube library does have some restrictions on length, but that won't be a problem for most users. I've seen channels with 50,000 videos. 50,000 videos, that's a lot of videos. I have on Vimeo, which is a different platform, I have 600 videos, and I moved over to YouTube a couple of years ago, and now I have 100 plus videos on YouTube. So really, you can upload all you want. There's plenty of room, easy access, fun to do. And so my next question, this is really the big question, I'm going to spend some time on this, is what type of videos can you upload? Back in 1980, I went to the World Conference on Records in Salt Lake, and there I learned that you can find out what your ancestors in the 1800s ate, what they wore, if they had watches, what their professions were, how they traveled, their political views, all sorts of different information. And so one of the things that I found in researching my Scottish ancestors is that the parish pastors about once every couple of years would do a big write-up on whatever was happening in their local area. And so for my area where my ancestors grew up, which is Perthshire, Scotland, I found the information, and then I was able to make this video. So I'm going to show you like maybe 2 minutes of this, so you have an idea what the idea is like here. This is the story of Robert and Elizabeth Stewart and their lives in 19th century Scotland. Along the north face of the Stratham Valley between Lochgarth and Aberfoyle are 11 estates whose boundaries have been largely unchanged for 1,000 years. On one of these estates, called Gardiner, Robert Stewart is born February 25th, 1807. A few years later, young Robert walks behind his farmer father. After all, the fields must be plowed, the oats sown, so the people of the parish could relish their piping hot bowl of oatmeal. 2 miles up the Tay River lies another estate called Clockholditch, an area of outstanding beauty. This is the very spot Elizabeth Stewart was born January 3rd, 1811. Her father smiles as he watches over her and her 3-year-old sister Jean before going out the door to his job as a shoemaker. There must have been pits on the Clockholditch estate because, all right, as you can tell, this goes, let's see how many minutes this is 14 minutes long, and it goes through this story of Robert and Elizabeth, who are my great-great-grandparents in Perthshire, Scotland. So that's one idea of something that could be done, that anybody could do. And they had a daughter named Margaret. And Margaret Stewart, this is a little bit about her. And I'm going to play just a little bit of this and just give you an idea what this is like. The Tay River lies low amid the lush hillsides, fertile fields, and wide open valleys of Perthshire, Scotland. The true glory of Perth is not the Tay, the bonny hills, nor its lochs, but it is in the small towns and unnumbered villages that cover the lowlands. In one of these towns, called Kinclavin, Margaret was born. The Tay River continues its journey south into the Firth of Tay, just south of Dundee, where Robert Gardiner was born. Robert was apprenticed at an early age to the trade of confectioner and baker, and attained great proficiency in his chosen vocation. At the age of 18, he was foreman of the Queen's Bakery, caterer to the royal family of England. This recognition by Queen Victoria was a great honor. Margaret worked in the linen mills of Dundee. There she hung the Scottish songs of her childhood. In a river one night, when Margaret Stewart was 15, she was baptized into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This was in the year 1865. When Robert Gardiner was 16, he joined the same church and later became Margaret and Elizabeth's home teacher. Margaret listened to the teachings of Robert and his companion and was quite surprised when he started writing poetry to her. She went with him 10 weeks, and Robert asked Margaret to marry him. Her father said, "He's a fine young man, Maggie. Take him." Together, they decided to go to Zion and gather with the saints in America. Robert and Margaret. Those are my great-grandparents, and that goes on. That one is 15 minutes long, which is, I guess in YouTube land, that would be considered to be long. Another thing that's quite easy to do is to make a slideshow of somebody's life and just put music behind it. This is my mother, who was born in 1925 and died in 1960. And I'm just going to give you a taste of this one.
We're having a hard time hearing this. Yes, is there sound?
Yes, there is.
We're having a hard time hearing it.
Can I stop sharing and reshare?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Now can you hear it?
Yes, great.
Okay. Okay. So that is just a slideshow with music behind it. And we're going to talk about music in a few minutes and how that works on YouTube. So this is the earliest of our family. I'm going to play 20 seconds of it or so. For me, the hardest part of making a video is finding the right music. So I spend a lot of time doing that. One of the things that you could do is most people have a profession and they spend their entire lives doing this profession. And then at the end, when they retire, they don't have any video or any really much information on what they did. Here, I taught at UCLA at the demonstration school on campus, which is an elementary school. I'm going to play just a little bit of this lesson that I taught on rounding. And that one to the nearest dollar is going to be what, everybody? What's that? $1? So altogether, if we round to dollars, we get $9. All right, so that's that. One of the things I really like is interviews, parent-child interviews. Now, unfortunately, my first wife, who we had 6 children, and she died in 1994. So this would be 7 years before she died. And this is an interview she did with one of our sons. So you can imagine that this would be an important video for our family and for her children who want to look back at her. So this is just just an interview with a parent and child.
Mr. Rye Guy.
Yeah, he's
He
chewing
is
his
the riest guy.
chewing his favorite thing. Gum. Right?
Gum. Do you love gum, Ryan?
Do you like gum or popsicles best?
Popsicle and gum.
Popsicles and gum.
And ice cream.
And
You
ice cream.
do.
And ice cream too. What do you like to do, Ryan? Do you like to go to Joy School?
Yeah.
And who are your friends at Joy School?
All right, we'll never know. Also, little moments with grandchildren are fun to videotape and easy to put up. And they grow up pretty fast, so you don't catch the moment, you lose the moment. So here's just a short one. This is a little over a minute long. Can you turn it off? When somebody leaves the frame like that, it's called in movie making, it's called a clean exit. So I guess one of the questions that I had was, can you do videos in stores. Well, today you can do videos almost anywhere, and people don't mind or anything. So this is a short video. It's a little bit long. I'm just going to play a little bit of it, but it's a video of my son and daughter-in-law buying shoes for my granddaughter.
We can't play with your tummy. Yes, we can't play with your tummy. We love playing with your tummy, you little silly thing. Yes, we can't play with your tummy.
She doesn't, I mean, she can barely walk.
Back me. No.
No, you're on TV. Grandfather.
Both of these? Ups? Yeah? Okay.
Well, I like grandchildren videos, so here's just the beginning of this one.
You ready to blow out the candle?
Happy birthday to you.
Again.
Happy
And the lights off.
birthday to you.
Lights.
Happy birthday to
Backlights.
Happy birthday to you.
Blow it out. Can you blow?
Ooh, almost. One more time.
Do it again.
Harder. Like I can't see. Okay, no more harder. Close. Get closer.
Here, blow it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It almost didn't happen. Well, this is one, my great-grandfather was a candy maker, as previously noted, and he had molds and he made candy molds. And this is a video on a family event where we made candy, where we did the same thing. You'll see how it works.
One of the days we looked forward to at Christmas time was the day when Mama brought out the old molds for the making of candy animals. The molds had belonged to grandfather Robert Gardiner, who had been apprenticed to the trade of baker and confectioner in Dundee, Scotland, and had established a small candy factory in Salt Lake City about 1868. There was real suspense in the making. Grandfather had not left the recipe for the candy, and Mama had to experiment each time. Would they be too soft? Would they come out of the molds without breaking? It was a great achievement to get the deer out with the horns intact, and the perfect one was a showpiece through the entire season. Each batch of candy was distinctive in color and flavor. The yellow ones were lemon, the pink anise, the green might be lime or peppermint. Raspberry.
All right.
Very good.
Good job!
You guys did a good job.
Yeah.
I want that rocket.
Good. Daddy made a sculpture. Looks like something from back.
Just keep bending it.
Ooh.
I like it.
He likes it. Here's another idea, is you take a photo and then you have somebody that knows about the photo tell you about it. So here's an example of that.
This photo.
Okay, this is a picture of my great-great-grandparents. This is Charles Augustus Croce and Martha Villate Holdaway. This is my great-grandmother, Martha Lesty Croce, who became a Booth. And these are her brothers, and I know for sure that this is Charles Arthur Croce, he's older than her, so her older brother. And one of these is Daniel William and Ferdinand Gwen, so I'm not sure which is which in here.
And tell me about each of these individuals and what you know.
I know that my great-great-grandmother was born in Deweyville.
I grew up in Glendale, California, and my dad moved there in around 1950, and the ward was demolished in the building that was built in around 1950 was demolished in 1990. And so my dad took a video of how it was destroyed or demolished, I guess I should say. And this is the tower. And the big moment is when the tower comes down. So I'm going to just play a little bit of this. South. Right at the end, those workers gave a high five. Isn't it amazing that they dropped this tower, pushed it over, and yet they still have cars running up and down the street? I don't think they do that today. So when we went to Scotland, there was a river that I've mentioned before called the Tay River. And this is just a little video of the Tay River. One of the things that I like to do is have video and then have some slides at the end. And this is an example of that. Show you how that might work. Tay River, canoers, right next to the Strath Tay village. Real pretty river. Dark rocks, moss. Beautiful. Tay River heading towards Loggerit. It's a big river, probably good fishing. The reason I filmed this is because my great-grandparents and my great-great-grandparents lived along the Tay River. This was an important river to them. And so it was wonderful to be there and to see it. Sometimes a family reunion would be a good thing to videotape.
Wayfarer.
good at it already.
Okay, so then you take your head and put it right like that, okay?
All right.
Make a head out of that.
Okay, this is the cheese.
Cameron, the main motor.
There's no shots.
All right, that's a nice memory. So when you're on YouTube, they will give you a monthly report. This is a monthly report that shows you how many minutes, total views, minutes watched, and then it'll also give you a yearly report on, this is my report for my 100 videos. Total views over 3,000, watch time 4,000 minutes, 25 likes, 10, etc. So this gives you sort of an idea of what you might see over a year. Let's go to the YouTube and just see how that works. So now this is uploaded. And what we're going to do, we'll just put it there. We'll just click yes, click next. I'm not going to do subtitles. We'll do next. It says no copyright issues. And I'll tell you why that is in a minute. But the interesting thing for me is that when I turned 64, I used the Beatles song 64 for a slideshow on my own life. And I got into trouble because it was a copyright problem. So they told me if I have a couple more of those, they would get rid of all my videos, which I didn't want. And now what happens if you have copyrighted on the audio that I put under my slideshows, if you have copyrighted information, they will say, go ahead, you can publish it. But if you get enough views, they'll put advertising on it, and then the copyright owner will get the proceeds of the money, or at least some of the proceeds of the money. But Google has amazing power that they can command that kind of influence over it. So I'm not going to make this private. I make all of my videos public, but you can make it anything you want there. And then I was going to go ahead and publish it. So, and then you can get this link if you want to put the link on and send it to somebody, or you can email it or do whatever you want to send it around. So these are my videos here. And as you can see, it has, we'll just play it just for fun.
I know, it's so funny to see like what they actually see. Not the video. Video on? I've had, yeah, it's like baby version. I know, it's a little worried fingers. On the top, she would just eat the fingers.
Anyway, that is posted now. It's 1 minute and 24 seconds. And that ends with her picture of her and her parents. So that is how easy it is to upload it and to keep track of what you're doing here. So we'll go to channel content here. And as you can see here, if it's public, but if you wanted to change it, you can go ahead and change it to private or unlisted in just the click of a button. I don't see any purpose in doing that. I have lots of different videos on here. Oh, and we'll just show here. So the comments and likes and views. So of course, there's no views on that one because it's brand new. And some of these don't have many views because I just put them up. But for me, I don't really care about views. For me, it's more about sharing stuff that might be interesting to people. And so, for instance, well, let's go to views here and I'll show you what happens on views. So I have a model train room and layout, an HO layout, and on that layout I have a cableway. And so I have 4,000 views of that cableway. I'm just going to show you a minute of it and tell you why it has so many views. All right, the reason it has so many views is because it's very difficult keeping these little cars, these little cable cars on the thread. So what you have to do is you have to measure from the wall to the thread in order to get a precise measurement so that these little things don't fall off. And I know that a lot of people that have bought these cable cars, they look pretty cool. And I'm sure that there's a lot of hobby people that do trains that have this particular item and they have a hard time keeping those cable cars on. So that's the reason there's so many views of that. And then I also have one on gluing HO figures onto your layout, and I have 1,300 views of that. But most things have maybe hundreds of views. One of the things that happened to me recently is I have a friend named Brent, and he lives in Colorado, and I was on Zoom, and I have a nice monitor here. I have a 4K monitor that is high quality, and I started to record his Zoom funeral. And I recorded it. I started recording it, and I found it was I had a hard time recording it, get it to record right. And so I eventually just picked up my phone and faced the monitor and filmed the last part of his funeral where he talked, the talk he gave. And then I posted it, and then I called Brent and I said, did you get a nice copy of your Zoom funeral? And he said, no, people forgot to do that. And so it turns out I have the only copy of his funeral talk out of Zoom, and it came out really great. And all it took was just videotaping it from my phone onto Zoom right off my monitor. So that was pretty amazing moment there. So he was really grateful, and it's had 60 views. So it's just, it sort of sits there, and if people want to see it, fine. If they don't, that's okay too. So if we go down here, we'll have, let's see, we're going to do killing. G. We're going to do killing ants. We'll play this one here. This is grandchildren killing ants.
Yep, the ants would totally not like this. Get in there, get in there. Yeah, the ants would not like this. Ants would not like this. They would just come and fight.
Can ants go to back to Heavenly Father?
No, they go to Ant Father.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
I've got all sorts of different things on here. Let me just do it this way. Let's do it by date. Anyway, so that's how you do it. So if we have comments, if you look at analytics, it will give you how many views, how many watch time, and all that kind of information. And then it tells you how you're doing. I think many people want to make money on these things. For me, I don't have any interest in monetizing my channel, even though I've got some views. And then you can actually look at audience and see where your audience comes from. And you can do etc. So that is how you upload and get a YouTube video library. Here's your dashboard, which it gives you sort of an overview of your videos and how you're doing with all that, and recent subscribers and information like that. Anyway, let's see. So if you go here, you go to your channel, and you go to videos, it'll show all your videos. One of the things that, just last thought here, one of the things that you can do is you can take audio and make a video of it and just put a picture with it so that, well, just to show you how it might work. This is a friend of mine talking about his mission.
From Santa Clara, Utah. Oh. Had this thick accent. You could barely repeat, spiel. And she said, well, yeah, come on in. So we went in.
So this is just an audio tape of Brent talking about his mission. And while he was doing that, I just put one, I don't have really a video of his mission, but I just had one picture of him. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is music. So if you go to YouTube, if you click down here on audio library, so this is my dashboard, this is my channel. If you go to the audio library, it will give you music that you can put behind your videos. Not the greatest music, but it will work. And so these are all public domain, and you can, just click over here and you can download it and then put it behind your videos. But I've got a better way of doing that. So the better way of adding audio to your videos is to go to something called Jamando Music. It is a free website. If you're going to use it to make money, then you need to get a license for it. But this is a favorite person of mine, David Schoenbert, who has some wonderful, what I would call ambient. Here's new age, ambient, peaceful, piano, synthesizer, lounge, film score. So these are all the sort of descriptors of his type of music. And I'll just play one just so you have an idea what it sounds like, what his music sounds like. So what you want behind your videos, you want something that kind of moves along, kind of bouncy and fun, but sort of keeps the thing rolling. Here's another example. So there's all you do over here if you want this piece of music is you just click and download it, and then you can use it and pop it in and put it behind your videos. I particularly like his music. I think it's fun and free download. I think you can download the whole album here. I think if you hit on that. I haven't done that for a while. So I guess one question that somebody might ask is, of all the countries, see you can, it says upload your music over here. What country do you think in the world uploads the most music to Jamando Music? Well, the answer is, I think, at least from my experience, the answer would be the French. France has a lot of people. I think they do a lot of music education, and so a lot of people do their own music and upload it here. But there's all sorts of different kinds of music that you can find on here, and one of the nice things is if you like this type of music, you can click over here on similar albums, and it'll give you albums that are similar to what is already on there. So this will be fun. I like this group. Project Divinity, and some of these others I've not heard of, and I need to play them and see if I really like them. And so you can just play them and like them and download them and use them, and it's just a great site to use. Okay, so that is our presentation on YouTube Video Library. Super fun to do. You just have to take your phone around and start videotaping things. Tons of things you can videotape, lots of fun. You can get creative, you can do difficult things with your ancestors, or you can do simple things with your grandchildren. Anyway, that's the end of my presentation. If you wanted to contact me, you could through my website, which is Gathering Gardeners, which looks like this. In fact, my email is right there. So if you had questions or comments or something you wanted to communicate, I'd be happy to communicate with you. Nice talking to you, and we wish everybody the best. Take care and goodbye.